Welcome to Flash CS6 Tutorial 42, Slider Control for Brightness. Going to start a new FLA, keeping ActionScript 3, calling this first layer Ball, B-A-L-L. Going to pick up my oval tool. If you see the rectangle tool, click on this corner. You want the oval tool. And I got black for my stroke and red for my fill, and I'm just going to hold my shift down and make a circle. Pick up my selection tool, highlight it. It's all those fuzzy, get that crosshairs, right click, convert it to a symbol, select that center registration here, call it ball, B-A-L-L, shift underscore MC. Make sure a movie clip is selected. That's the name we're calling it. Copy it. Open the properties panel, and there's ball movie clip, and paste what we copied in for an instance name. Lock that layer. Insert a layer. Call it slider. S-L-I-D-E-R. I want black for my stroke. This time I want a grayish color for my fill. I'm going to pick up the rectangle tool this time. Click here, rectangle tool, open the properties, and I want my corners to be rounded a little bit. So I'm going to set them at 13, and I'm going to make a little rectangle here. There it is. Pick up my straight line tool. That's that one here. And I think that uses the stroke. I'm going to put a little line here, another little line, and another little line, just so it looks like something. I'm going to click on that one there and center it a little bit and bring it down, just so it looks like something other than, looks like a button. That's the slider. Highlight it, right click, convert it to a symbol. Again, movie clip, center registration, call it slider, S-L-I-D-E-R, shift underscore MC. Copy that. Open the properties panel, slider movie clip, and paste it in for a instance name. Lock that layer. Insert a layer and call it line, L-I-N-E. And I want this line to be under the slider. So click on the slider layer and just lift it up so the line's underneath it. Make sure all the layers are locked except the line layer. This is the stroke. Click on that. Make sure it's black. Straight line tool, that's what this is called, right here. And select frame 1 of the lines and draw a line. Right now it doesn't matter how long it is. And get your selection tool, click on it so it's highlighted, open the properties panel, and change this stroke here to 3. So that's a little bit wider. Select that again, open the properties panel, and make sure the X here is, in this case, 475. Put an enter there. Okay. Let's go back to the slider, unlock it, and highlight it, and just using your arrow keys, arrow key it over. Open the properties panel and make sure its X is 475. Okay. At the same time here for a minute, make the Y 280 and have a look at that. Okay. There's 280. and I just want to erase that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take my eraser right here. I got the line selected, and I'm going to erase it right to there. Okay. Lock all the layers, unlock the slider layer. The slider is highlighted. Open the properties panel. Now I want to make the Y 75 for a minute. Enter that, and it goes way up there. So now I got to get my line to extend up to there. Lock all the layers, unlock the line layer. Pick my selection tool. Get on the end there when you get those right angle and just pull that straight up until that's about the middle. Lock all the layers, select the slider again. The slider there is at 75 when I highlight it. That's 75, and I want to start with that back at 280. Good. Now it's time to write some code. Lock all the layers, select the top layer, insert a layer. Let's call it Action Script, AS. Open the Actions panel. It's here. If you don't have it docked here, look under Window and find Action and click it, and it opens up. And type this code. We're making a bunch of variables that we're going to use later on. We have one variable, VAR, called butt up, capital B, capital U. That's the button here that we're moving, the slider. Colon, number, capital NUMBER, turns blue, equals 75, semicolon. And we made that 75 when we put it up to the top and tested it. We know it has to be 75. You can copy that, paste it in. This is but low, the lower reading. Change it from 75 to 280. You can copy and paste, or you can write this from scratch. It's a variable, VAR. This is called the button range, but range, capital B, capital R, colon, it's a number, equals. It's equal to the but low, this variable, minus the but up. So it's the range that this switch can move, and it's the difference between those two values. You could subtract those two values and put an actual value in here. You can do that, but this allows you some room if you want to make this shorter or longer, play around with. So but low minus but up, and a semicolon. Another variable, this is called ball dim, capital BALLDIM, colon, it's a number, equals 0, semicolon. This is the dimness of the bulb. Ball bright, that's capital B, ball bright, its colon, equals 100, and then another semicolon, so it's going to be from 0 to 100. And that range is just like up here, variable, the ball range, colon, number equals ball bright minus ball dim, semicolon. Again, you could just stick the 100 in here, but in case you want to change these and modify your limits, this makes it easier for that to do that. Now we want to make an event listener. An event listener is just something that looks for something to happen, and we're going to make an event listener for when we click on this and move it. So type, slider underscore MC, that's that movable slider we made, the gray one, period. Add event listener, small a, capital E, capital L, that will turn blue. Open bracket, mouse event, this is a mouse event, capital M, capital E, that turns blue, period. Mouse underscore down, all capital letters, all uppercase, turns blue if it's spelt right. Comma, drag square, capital D, capital S, That's the function I'm giving the name to this function. Close bracket, semicolon, and this calls the function up. Function, function, turns purple. Copy, drag, square, paste it in. Open bracket, event, small event, turns blue, colon. Copy mouse event, paste it in. Close bracket, colon, void. Void turns the same color as function. There's an open curly bracket, and as you start to type here, you'll get a close curly bracket. Put an enter, and there's a closed curly bracket. And in here, do a little bit of typing. Type, type, type. Slider underscore MC. That's the slider for our variable moving thing there. Period. Start drag. Small s, capital D. Turns blue if it's spelt right. Open close bracket, semicolon. Now this is a good time to try it to see if we have any errors. Control test movie test. I have no errors, and I can move this any way I want, up and down. So now let's do the restriction so this cannot go sideways and restrict its up and down movements. Oh yeah, I can't leave it go either. First, let's deal with releasing it. So click here at the end, couple enters, and type this code. Type, 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 type. It's a stage, S-T-A-G-E, small s turns blue. You can copy this from here right to there. Copy that, paste it in. Make sure you have a period here. That's at add event listener, open bracket, mouse event, period, mouse. It says mouse down, mouse underscore down. Change the word down to up. Again, use all capitals, uppercase. And this would be drop up square. So put a U in here. There's a close bracket, semicolon. Copy all this. Right click, copy it. You can paste that in here. When you do that, make sure that you change and add a U here to match this U, so get the proper name. And instead of start drag here, put stop drag. I believe that's everything. Now we should be able to release it. Let's test that. I can move it up, leave it go. I can move it anywhere, leave it go. Now let's do the restrictions on it. Let's go up here where we're doing the mouse down and the drag, where we're dragging it, and click right in here between these two brackets, and type this information. Type the word false, comma, new, that false is blue, new, space, new is purple, rectangle with a capital R. That's going to tell us the parameters up, down, left, and right where we can move this slider to. Open bracket, 475, comma, 75, comma, 0, comma, and 205, and then a closed bracket here to match that closed bracket. Now, this one, I'll show you this one in a few minutes. This one is when we click on the slider. If we have the word false in here, then the slider will lock into wherever the mouse is on it. If I put true in here and click on the slider will move so it tries to center onto the mouse. I'll demonstrate for you that in a minute. This is just a syntax to tell you I'm setting up these parameters. I think I have these already done, right? 475 is the left-hand axis of this. So there it is. As far left as it can go, that way is 475. 75, the second one, that's as far as it can go up the page to here. And I think 75 is where we put it. 0 means how much further it can go to the right on the x-axis Well, we don't want it to move off of this 475, so we're going to add 0 to it so it stays 475. And 205 means this is how much further from here down I want the thing to go, and we want to be able to go down to 280, so therefore I have to add 205 onto it. So let's test that. I can't move it left or right, all the way down, and that's where it stops. Okay? So I'll just do that real quick again. This is the left-hand parameter on the x-axis. This is how much more it can move to the right. In our case, we don't want it to move left or right, just stay there. This is how high it can move, up to here. And this is how much lower than that it can come down. Now the last thing we need to do is write the code that transfers the motion of the slider to the brightness of the ball. So come down at the very bottom, add a couple enters, and type this code. Stage, period, add event listener, small s, small a, capital E, capital L, turns blue if it's spelt right. Open bracket, event, capital E, period, that all turns blue. Enter underscore frame, all uppercase capital letters, they'll turn blue. Comma, I'm calling it ent frame, capital E, capital F, close bracket, semicolon. Now we'll call the function up, function turns purple, space, copy ent frame, paste it in, open bracket, E, just a small e, colon, event, you can copy event and paste it in with a capital E, that event turns blue, close bracket, colon, void, void and function turn the same color. I have my open curly bracket for my function and my closed curly bracket down here. I'm going to make a variable, another one, var space, button moved. It's going to be tracking the movement of the button, so to speak. Capital B, capital M, colon, number, capital NUMBER, spells, turns blue if it's spelt right, equals. And here's how we figure it out. Slider, SLIDER underscore MC, that's the slider movie clip, period Y, that's its Y coordinate. We're going to take that and subtract button up. And from that, we'll get a value of basically where the button is with regards to the highest reading, which is that, I think, 75. We're going to use that now to do something else. So I said minus but up, capital B, capital U, semicolon. Another variable down here, var space per bright, like as percentage brightness, per bright, colon, it's a number, capital NUMBER, turns blue, equals. Button moved, that's that variable we just made, divided by the button range. So button move divided by butt range, semicolon, that is sort of like a percentage of the range of the button. And here we're going to say another variable, how bright, capital H, capital B, so how bright's the light going to be? Colon number, NUMBER, capital N, equals percent brightness, that's that one we just made, per bright, multiplied, that's the asterisk, the upper case of the number 8, multiplied by ball range, so that gives me a value. Capital B, capital R, semicolon, and finally ball underscore MC, that's the ball, capital B, period, alpha, that's brightness sort of, ALPHA, turns blue, equals ball bright minus how bright. So the difference between those gives me the value I want for my alpha. So capital B minus capital H, capital B, how bright, semicolon, And to see how this value, what this value is, I'm doing what's called a trace, T-R-A-C-E, turns blue, open bracket, and you can copy this ball underscore MC period alpha, paste it in, close bracket, semicolon, and there's my closed curly bracket. And let's give this a test. And there's 0 because it sticks down, but notice if I go up, right away, if I move it much, it jumps above the decimal. Alpha only works from 0 to 1. So if I come down the bottom and go up slow, there, I got 0.4, that's half my alpha, and really hard to move it without going past 1. So we got to make an adjustment. Adjustment's a really easy one. Come here, this ball alpha line, click here, put an open bracket, click here, put a closed bracket, divide by 100. Now that's going to give us a really nice smooth range. 0, and as I go up very slowly, there it comes in, and I can go all the way up to a full 1 on my alpha. Good. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.